Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Jayco Jayfeather 22 BH travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A few things to take into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, I want you to leave plenty of room for that awning. On your off campsite, beside your slide, I want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power is going to plug in all the way here on the rear corner. Then your docking station for water is going to be just above your tires on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive, unhook our hitch. First thing we're going to do is level our unit. The unit comes with a power tongue jack, night docking light should you arrive at night. Simply raise Simply raise or lower the unit until you're level. Now, should you lose power, under this rubber stopper, this hand crank will get on there and get this up and down without power. Speaking of power, check your battery post every now and then. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. Because we got our unit level, next thing we do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these scissor stabilizing jacks down here. There's quick drops. So you start out, this will be hooked on here. Start out unhooking this safety latch. Take your hand crank. I swear there's no need for power drill or anything. Watch how quick these go down. 2 times to the right, where you can get up in there, lift up on that. I didn't go far enough. Making it look longer than it. So 2 times to the right, get a hold of this ring, pop that up, run right to the ground. Once that's down there, you go ahead and crank that to the right until you feel that pressure on there. Now, I'm going to recommend some stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads will protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris. Hot blacktop in the summer, keep it from sinking into the ground and in the blacktop. I've seen that. They come up just as quick. So anyway, run this down. Get all 4 of them down. Once you got your unit level, stable, we can hook up our power and water. So again, our power cord plugs in all the way over on the off camp side in the corner here. Big long 30 amp cord out of pistol grip. The way they go in now is, you see that little slot there? Slides in, turn to the right, put your black washer on. Now, should you need to plug into a 110, in your convenience pack will be a 30 amp to 15 amp reducer to go on the end of that. That's power hooked up. Let's hook up your water. At campsites, we're going to hook up to city water connection. First and foremost, a water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting lines in your unit. Always use this because you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites. Hook that up. Hook up your hose. Don't turn your hose on yet. Let's find your hot water heater. There's going to be over here on the campsite. And all we're doing, it's a tankless heater. All we're doing is making sure this drain plug is closed back up. That's a little knob that turns to the right or left if you're draining. If you know you've closed it up, you're fine. Little thumb screw down there that'll tighten and loosen that. So once that's closed, you can go ahead and turn on that hose. After that hose has been on for a few minutes, go inside, open the slide if you need to, but get in there and open up your water lines. Your sinks, your showers, get a nice steady flow of water going through them, and then you all be set. Now let's say you're going to go camping and you're not going to use city water, you're going to go dry camping. In that case, we're going to fill up our freshwater tank over here on the campsite. No need for a water pressure regulator here, simply gravity fill this with a hose. 2 ways to tell it's full, when there's an overflow valve right there. Or 2, check the levels of your black and gray tanks inside. There's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on that when you're filling it up. Don't leave it unattended. Once it's full, go ahead and put that cap back on there. And then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump and hook the city water that's already pressurized. Alright, we're all set to camp with power and water. We'll walk you around the rest of the unit, starting up here in the front. Again, our power tongue jack. Our propane does have a cover. There's a regulator back here, just pointed toward the tank you wish to be using, lefty-loosey to open. Our battery, again, check that now and then. And here's our battery disconnect. That would disconnect all the battery power to the unit. Lighting in here. There you go. Battery was off. Coming down here, some storage. Access to the back of your fridge. A vent for your hood range. It's your black tank flush. We'll talk about that when we dump our black and gray tanks here. City water connection. Your low point drain. It's going to be those right there. There's our black, gray, and second gray tank. Power, that's where you plug your cable in. Spare tire has a cover. Keep that on there. That's going to keep your tire from dry rotting over the years. You prep for a backup camera. You also have a ladder. Utilize it. Get up there 2-3 times a year. Check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. Do it safely. Again, our hot water heater. J-port, you got a big long metal bar in that front storage. That'll slide right in there. And the table is set out here to put a griddle on. And here is that griddle. Hot water, or excuse me, a flue for your furnace. A few things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. Two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of that. It does get hot. And we also sell bug guards for those. You got a 110 cable and a hookup for a TV out here. Couple of outdoor speakers. Again, our fresh water. Big pass-through storage. The table and bar I talked about for the J-port, for the griddle, and your hitch work. Let's go take a look on the inside. So coming up inside the unit, first thing I always like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Alright, coming up here to your left as you come in, this is going to be where you turn on and off your hot water heater. Living room lights, awning lights, and J command. Tell you really quickly, go ahead and pair this to your phone, the BM Pro J command. It's really cool. You can sit outside and do everything you want on here. So over here to the top left, you're going to run through different things. I'm going to close this door so that we can see what we got going on in here. That's much better. So starting up here, and out of the way, we can go through the motors. There we go. We can go through the motors, through our heat, through our settings, our tanks, and water. Back to motors. I'm going to select and go up to awning, and I'm going to start extending this awning out. As I run it out, I'm going to tell you, you only want to run your awning out until the flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see your bar. If you hold that extend down, that will keep running itself out, flip up onto itself and run itself up backwards. So you only want to run it out to right there. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. Don't put it out in high winds. Don't put it out in really heavy rains. Just save yourself the trouble. Bring it in and save yourself having to get that repaired. Alright, as I run this back in, I'll tell you down on the bottom, these are lights. The light bulbs 1, 2, and 3. 1 is interior, 2 is exterior, 3 is both. As that awning comes in. There, heard that. Alright, so now we'll do our slide. Select down to our slide and just hit extend. Watch that kitchen slide go out. Yeah, when you hear that noise, that's just the slide mechanism saying I'm all the way out. Let go of the button. So next we've got our heat and AC. It's 81 in here. Alright, here's our control panel. I'm going to start all the way up here with motors. Motors, we have our awning and our slide. Here's our AC. Let's go ahead and change the mode to that. To cool. And try to get the AC to come on. You see it's cooler than the setting. So we have to go to our setting and make that cooler than the 60 to get that AC to come on. There we go. I should kick it on. There it goes. I just want to show you also there's a quick dump on these. When you arrive at the campsite, open that up. It's going to blast cool air in here and get it nice and cooled off for you. Okay, I'm going to go through. Back to mode. Should just top one. Sorry. Back to mode. We're going to go to off. You'll notice that shuts off rather quickly. I'm cleaning your unit outside while I'm doing this. Next mode is furnace. I'll turn your furnace on. Now we have to change our setting again to go higher than the room temperature. Now I should kick the heat on. There's the return for that. Now you'll notice when I shut that off, that I can touch the wrong button here. You notice when I go through to off on that, generally it takes a couple minutes, about 2 minutes for the fan to cycle through on the heater before it shuts off. Alright, so there's all of your heat. Here's where you can pair your phone. Here's where you check the levels of your fresh black and gray tanks. Here's where you turn on your water pump if you're utilizing fresh water. Here's where you turn on your heater if hooked to electric, your water heater if hooked to gas. It does make a difference. Choose correctly. And then back to our motors. Covers everything on that. Any other lights that are left on are lights that I need to individually walk through and shut off. We went in the bathroom, made sure all vents are closed. Come in here, touch number 1 to turn on our interior lights. Cycle back through to slide and hit retract. Walk through the unit, make sure all doors and drawers are closed, your TV's tucked away, this extension is down, everything in our cabinets are secure for travel. There we go. That's number 1 to shut off our interior lights. Now I like to look to see if exterior are on, which they are. So I just hit number 2 and I know them are off. Exit the unit. Now the biggest thing on these steps, whether bringing them up or down, is to make sure this exterior door is all the way open. Otherwise this is going to catch on it. Lift that up and tuck it in. These cotter pins will adjust your feet. Before you leave the dump station, I say that because you're going to go in there and check the level of your tanks when you're dumping. Lock and deadbolt your door, lift and turn your handle. That's how you want that door to look for traveling. If we are dry camping, we're going to bring up our stabilizing jacks. Come around to our low point drains here. Back here is going to be your main low point drains, and the one up toward the front is going to be your freshwater drain. For dry camping, go ahead and dump that. Bring up your stabilizing jacks and head on home or the nearest dump station, whatever you're in need of. For the campsite, unhook your power, your water, your cable. Bring up your stabilizing jacks and head on up to the dump station. Now at the dump station, park accordingly. Got a 10-foot hose, comes your convenience pack. Hook that up and pull your black holding tank. That's going to be your black handle. When it sounds like that's no longer draining, go inside, check the level of your black tank. If it shows empty or close to it, come back out here, leave that black handle open, hook up the hose at the dump station to this tank flush valve. Again, emphasizing leaving that black handle open. Turn on this hose and let that run for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, remove that hose. Make sure all that washout water you just put in there has drained, and then close your black tank and pull your first gray. Now when my grays are draining, that's normally when I'm dumping my low point drains. When the first one's done, close that one up and pull gray tank number 2. It's going to be cleaner water, sinks and showers. That's going to clean your sewage hose out for you. So that when that one's done, you can close that up, come over here and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper and head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Jayfeather for many years to come. Happy camping.